John Spencer Blues Explosion were a post-punk blues punk band from New York. They were formed in 1991 and they were led by, fairly obviously, John Spencer, with two others. They had no change of personnel through their years. They lasted up until 2016. And their lineup was two guitars and a drum kit. They were spawned, well, the various members had come through several other bands between them, but they came together in a band called Jerry Teal's Honeymoon Killers, and they spawned off from that. They've released, I worked it out as over a dozen studio albums, but it's somewhat unclear because of reworkings and remixes. They've got EPs and live albums and hybrids and all sorts of things. Apparently, they played quite a lot live, and they were described by Mark Lamar, who's a UK TV personality, I guess, as the best live band he'd ever seen at one point. Hi, my name's Dan. So this was the fifth studio album by the John Spencer Blues Explosion, and it's my first encounter with them. So therefore, obviously, my first listen to this album. And broadly, I'd describe this as garage blues done in a punk way with a singer who thinks he's in a rockabilly band. And that pretty much sums up a lot of it. It's mostly two guitars and drums. It wasn't until I read about them that I realised there wasn't bass in there, certainly most of the time. So they fill the soundscape pretty well. And it's raucous and raw and ragged and possibly other adjectives beginning with R. I don't know. The guitar, I would say, often goes beyond what is often described as jangly into what I'm going to describe as janky. It's kind of pushed even further. I'm going to use the word angular here. So I've seen music described as angular somewhat in the past, and then suddenly the penny clicks as to what it means, which is the opposite of smooth. So some music's smooth, some music's kind of not quite so smooth, but when it's kind of not, when it's very unsmooth, it's angular, and I think the word janky also comes to mind. There are discords in here, there's noisy stuff, there's dirty stuff, there's overdrive, not just on guitars, there's loose timing, and it's incredibly energetic. And sometimes when you kind of get these descriptions from me for an album, I'm then going to start talking about a lack of playing skill, and I'm not here because actually they really can play pretty well, but they're obviously deliberately playing in a way that is this kind of loose and raw way. So I think that's a difficult trick to pull off, to get that kind of energy and that feel of being like, yeah, we've just discovered this and we're having a really good time and we're not really sure what we're doing, whilst actually playing music where they are, they do know what they're doing. There was, I'm going to reference somebody else. For me, there were shades of Sonic Youth in here. It's just kind of that mixture of so kind of, in some ways, unfettered and noise and other things in there. They're probably, I would say, I would guess, were great live. The energy is amazing. And I would also guess that having them in recording probably doesn't really do them justice. But I'm going to say I suspect that this recording does as good a job as could be done in giving that feel of huge energy. Did I like it? This is always the question that I'm going to come down to at the end of a review. Did I like it? And the answer is somewhat. It's all right. It's definitely the kind of music that's a good candidate for somebody shouting up the stairs, turn down that awful music, you annoying teenager. It's kind of got that raucous, rebellious feel and edge to it. And there are some sweary words in here, just to warn you of that. So that's what I think. As always, I'd love to know what you think. I'm sure there are people who find this much more significant than I do. Is that kind of music, and if you're one of those, I'd love to hear from you as to why, what it is, what is it that you love about the album, or if you don't like it, please let me know why, etc. I'm just up for people's opinions. That's what I'm fishing for, and that's it from me for now.
got the chill, man. I did the crazy thing. Information, extend of my dream. Got